So we're up in the camper van, and the plan is to get up tomorrow morning and go up a mountain. And this is quite a well-known sort of car park, I suppose. There's quite a few famous mountains, but we're not going to go up the usual suspects. I'm actually going to go up another hill, which I was up just before the second lockdown in November last year, and the first snows had just arrived. But that video hasn't actually been out yet. I've not put it out yet. That'll be coming at some point later in the year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm here with my son, and we've been sat here for, I don't know, an hour or two. It's Friday evening, and I don't know if you can hear it, but the rain is on. It's been raining for the last, don't know, half an hour. So we're hoping that's going to give way overnight and maybe wake to better conditions. So we'll see what happens when we awake in the morning and get up and go for a hike up the hill. So just now we're just going to chill in the van and get our stuff ready for a nice early start, or maybe not. We might not set the alarm, I'm not sure. We'll see how the morning goes. Might have a leisurely breakfast. I've got some bacon in the fridge, so that could be the order of the day tomorrow morning. Bacon roll and some coffee. Not sure whether I have that on the way back down. Decisions. Anyway, right, I'm going to maybe have a game of Connect 4 and yeah, get ready for bed. We'll see you in the morning. So with the rain beating down on the roof of the van, we didn't really head outside. We stayed inside and played, as I said, some Connect 4 and a bit of chess, and just enjoyed the evening before hitting the hay, and just hoping that that rain that was on us was going to move on and would wake the next morning to better conditions.
And there will also be people who are in hospital for any kind of reason who simply happen to test positive for COVID, but they may be asymptomatic or only mildly ill with COVID. The headline data makes no distinction between those three categories.
The next morning arrived, and we didn't rush to get up super early, and we loitered in the van, and we decided to have those bacon rolls before heading up the mountain. We were trying to get the walking done under the best forecast, and that involved us hanging around a wee while before setting off on the hill. After enjoying the bacon rolls, it was soon time to get going, so we packed down the van and packed up our bags and set about heading up the hill towards this mountain I'd been up a few months before, but in completely different conditions. It was a bit drier now, but the cloud hadn't completely cleared and the tops were still clagged in, something that we were hoping was going to change as we moved up the hill. Let's push it. The mountains in this area are really quite popular, one in particular, and that means there's a good path which we were able to follow on the start of the walk. But I tell you what, we were soon feeling the heat, and about 15 minutes in, although it was clagged in, it was really humid and muggy, and we stopped to delayer and headed off. We were quite refreshed by taking our jumpers and jackets off and headed off in our t-shirts. Anyway, I was certainly glad of the path, because the vegetation with that mist and fog rolling about was just soaking wet. All the leaves were dripping with water, and the grasses would have been soaking had we had to come off the path. So yeah, we were certainly glad of the path, and we stuck to it as much as we could as we headed up, in the hope that the cloud would clear and we'd maybe get a view from the top. Right folks, just stopped for a wee break and we're heading up. I'll put you a shot to camera now of where we're going, and it's a Munro at the top of the glen, and this is a very popular path. In fact, I was up here in November, just before the second lockdown last year, and I got some snow at the top, and it was some of the first snow I'd had of the season, and I was really excited. And I was also up here on the other famous mountain, which is even more famous. It's the 10th highest mountain in Scotland with Jerry, and that was a bit later, literally just before the lockdown, and yeah, it was right winter conditions then. But today we're not going up the 10th highest mountain, we're going up a mountain called Meall Corranaich, and it sits at over 1,000 metres, and it's a lovely wee path that goes up to the top of it. You can do it in a loop, which you'll see in a video that's to come, but this is just going to be a short day and just a wee leg stretch for us. We had, I don't know if you saw, but we had bacon sandwiches, and we had a leisurely start to the day actually, because we looked at the forecast, and the forecast was for the cloud to be lifting as the day goes on, but we have to temper that because there's heavy showers breaking out in the afternoon. So the time's now 10:10, so hopefully we'll get up here and down before the heavy showers come, and we might time it just right so the cloud rises and we might get a bit of a a view, who knows. But yeah, we're going to sit here and just have a few snacks, and then we'll get cracked on up the path. Right, well, we've stopped at at this big rock here, and quite close to the Bealach. And the hardest bit of this walk is actually this bit here. It's the final 150 metres to the summit of Meall Corranaich, and it is quite a steep pool. I have to be a bit careful going up here. There's a path. It's not as pronounced as the path you come up, because this is the main path up and down down Ben Lors, shall we say. The main path is up over Ben Glass. But yeah, the cloud's coming and going. It's as you can see, it's sweeping in across the top. So I think it's a 50-50 chance on whether we actually get lucky and get any views from the top. So we'll move on up, and we'll take our time going up this steep hillside, and then we'll report back further up the hill. So at this point we crossed over the Bealach, and just beyond the Bealach is the start of the steep pool to the top of Meall Corranaich, and it really is quite steep. It's short-lived though, but it's lovely. In good conditions you get some lovely views over to the Lors range, but yeah, we were pressing on. It was a heads down, foot in front of the other type of morning to try and get to the top. And we were still quite hopeful we might get some views as we got there, because we were starting to see signs of that cloud starting to disperse. But it was quite atmospheric. It was kind of rolling about the glens below us and across the mountainsides. Really nice. Anyway, after a bit of hard work, we were getting higher and higher in the mountain and approaching the summit of today's mountain. Right, this is the top of Meall Corranaich, and it's 1,000, I think, just under 1,100 metres. And as I said before, the last time I was here, I think it was similar views the inside of a cloud. But you know what, it is kind of clearing every now and again. There's some nice views down, some atmospheric views back down towards the Tarmachan range. And then Ben Lors just looks so dark and foreboding at the moment. It's kind of big black clouds behind it. But yeah, there's clouds below us, clouds above us. It's just one of those days. There's a wee breeze up here cooling us down a wee bit, because it has been quite sticky. I think there will be some heavy rain later on. It's that kind of muggy atmosphere. But yeah, we're going to sit here, have a bite to eat. That last stretch up is quite steep. That's only bit. It's a wee bit difficult, but it's relatively short-lived. And I'll put this walk into my playlist of easier hills, or relatively easier hills in summer conditions. So I'll put that in the description below if you're interested in looking at those hills. But yeah, it's not a bad day, so we're just going to enjoy it up here, and yeah, I'll report back later on. after a bite to eat and enjoying some of the views when the cloud did clear, we decided it was time to pack up, and we were just going to go back down the way we'd come, because it's a bit quieter. Most of the guidebooks suggest that you do this hill and its neighbour from the top of the loch, so the footfall on the side we'd come up was pretty quiet. And although there is a path here, I think most people that have come down this path will be people who are connecting these 2 Munros up with the 5 on the Lord's Range. So if you're super fit and really keen to get out there, you can do all these hills in the one go. And there's this path that we'd come up connects Meall Corranaich to Ben Glass, a steep short pool similar to this one on the other side of the glen. But yeah, care was required. As I said, there's a few steep steps here. I wouldn't call it scrambling, but hands on rock were required just to get down a few of the sections. It would be a different, as I always say, it would be a different proposition if it was under a covering of snow or a layer of verglass. There's quite a bit of a run out at places coming up this last wee steep pool. So if you're coming up here in the winter, just beware. Anyway, we were soon back on that path that descends down from Ben Lawers and heading back towards a rather busier car park than what it was when we left, and back to the van. Right, that's us back at the van. Had a Scotch egg, place is a mess. Bit of Lucozade, wee coffee, and it was nice. It was a nice wee walk back down. The cloud did lift, but we could see some big anvil clouds building. I think we might get some rain on the way back home. There'll certainly be some heavy rain later on in some parts of Scotland. It was really quite impressive watching them grow as we came down. So anyway, that was a relatively easy walk. Another one for the easy playlist. Like I said before, I'll put it in the description below. And it took us just over around about the 4-hour mark, and we weren't rushing. And it was nice. Got some views at the top. Certainly some lovely views on the way back down. It was really nice. So I'm going to end the video here. As always, stay safe out there, and I'll see you next week for another adventure.